like being on set, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much have styled damn near everything from a tunnel walk, NBA tunnel walk, to Chris being on Forbes, stuff like that. All the State Farm commercials that y'all see, Cliff Paul and all that.
Good old Cliff.
Courtney Mays, you know what I mean?
Come on.
So just talk about like just being on set and the preparation it takes and all that.
Yeah, so
is there a big difference?
Huge.
Okay.
So, and I had to learn that. Like before I moved out here, I was able to like come here to work on music videos and that type of thing from time to time. But I think it wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles, I realized there's different types of styling. So State Farm, for example, which Candace and I talk about this all the time. The first time State Farm was a shit show. Like I'm talking like we did not know what we were doing, but because we didn't ask any questions,
right?
And of course we want to make sure Chris looks good and he feels good and he thinks we know what we're doing. So we had about 47 racks of clothes. We did not know that you have to have doubles because for a lot of the bigger commercials, the main talent has a double that plays him or her. And so when that person raps for the day, like it may not be Chris's hand that you see, it's the double's hand or his wrist or the side of his face, because they need to make sure they're getting all of these specific shots, but they don't want to take the time with the person, right? Or they use them to stand in to like make sure the lighting is okay. And so these are things I had no idea, like no idea about TV production, any of that until I'm in the thick of it. So you're going on set. A lot of times your call time is 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, even though the talent doesn't have to show up till 9. Like I've already been there since the crack of dawn. You're also dealing with lots of cooks in the kitchen. So with a tunnel look, it's me and the client. And maybe there's an agent, depending on how the team works, that is there to talk about what the creative vision is. But with a commercial, it's the production company, it's the ad agency, it's the company that we're doing the ad for, State Farm, for example, that have like 5 people that you have to answer to. And so we're talking about like, well, do we like this black or this black? Like, I mean, it gets real granular.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're looking at the people that are making the creative decisions like, so I got to tell you, you got this vest on, that this looks cool and you look crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
So you're there all day and night, sometimes multiple days, and you have to shoot and be prepared to shoot from the front, from the side, from the back, which means sometimes you have to have multiples of that because, for example, like if you're shooting in a basketball uniform and they have them sort of pretending to play, they might sweat. So now I gotta have a backup jersey in case this one gets ruined. Or it's less, I will say it's less creative in that like, I'm not trying to figure out how to make this suit look cool with this t-shirt or whatever. And more like, I had to make sure I have 5 of these Argyle sweaters because that's what we're using for this particular commercial. Although that process was extremely creative and cool because I got to come up with the entire like image of what Cliff Paul was. So like, is it going to be stripes? Is it going to be plaids? And we ended up on Argyle. So that process was really cool and really interesting. But it's definitely different than dressing somebody for a tunnel. It's definitely more, a lot of more moving parts and a lot more logistics that you have to go through. And it's also such long days. You know, you've been on set.
Them commercial days, bro?
No.
The only good thing is like the craft services.
Yes, the
because
craft services.
I'll be there for the craft services.
Yes, the craft services is lit.